All right, welcome everybody. Now, I'm not sure if you're aware of this or not, but down here in the Smoky Mountains, there's a road. This road connects Knoxville, Tennessee with Robbinsville, North Carolina. This road's known as Highway 129. Now, in the middle of Highway 129, just south of Maryville, Tennessee, there's an 11-mile section. This 11-mile section connects Tab Bridge with Deals Gap Motorcycle Resort. Now, what this 11-mile section of Highway 129 doesn't have is houses or businesses. There's no driveways of any kind. There's no intersections or cross traffic. There's not a red light or a stop sign. And there's no commercial vehicles allowed on it. Now, what this 11-mile section of Highway 129 just south of Maryville does have is 318 curves and 1,200 feet of elevation change. Oh yeah, and a name. This 11-mile section of Highway 129 just south of Maryville is called the Tail of the Dragon. And I'm going to take you for a ride on it, leaving from Deals Gap Motorcycle Resort and crossing Tab Bridge. So I hope you enjoy it as we get going here and cross into Tennessee. And you can see this road is in perfect condition. They just repaved it a couple years ago and they maintain it well. There's not a single pothole in it right now. They also made some improvements to some of the tighter turns and some of the curves. They skirted them out and widened them up as much as they could. And they also added a bunch of pull-offs. And these really help in keeping things a little safer, keeping traffic moving a little better, cut down on the number of passes that are being made against oncoming traffic. And you know, if you come down here, absolutely utilize them. Don't think of it as a pride thing, you know, just think of it as a safety thing. Maybe a little bit of a courtesy thing, you know, if you're a slower vehicle, somebody comes riding up on you, don't let them press you into riding harder and trying to stay in front of them. Just utilize one of these pull-offs, pull off, let them get past you. And then, you know, get behind them. You'll never see them again. And also, if you're riding hard and come across somebody who's maybe sightseeing or just doesn't feel it today, just, you know, give them a second. 9 times out of 10, they're going to pull over and give you the courtesy and let you go ahead, go on by them. I mean, remember, this is a public road, and there are people just traveling on it on a daily basis just to get from one side of the mountain to the other. Although, you know, you come down here in the middle of the summer, you're going to swear that it's an amusement park, some type of a automotive playground. I mean, you have everything from electric scooters to RVs camped out on the pull-offs. You know, they got their grills out, they're cooking up some burgers, they got lawn chairs set up, they're taking in the whole show. I mean, what other road do you know that has, I don't know, half dozen photographers set up around every turn, taking pictures of the passers-by? It's a crazy atmosphere in the summer down here, that's for sure. This is why this is a nice ride in February, and the only thing I really had to worry about was a little bit of moisture on the road. It was nice. It was probably in the 60s, so I wasn't too concerned about the black ice, but I was a little nervous about it being wet, I'll be honest. So if we're going to talk some numbers, let's see, in 2024, there was 139 wrecks with 47 injuries and 5 deaths on this 11 miles of road last year. So you have to keep that in mind when you're coming down here. There's a lot to take in. There's a lot going on. I mean, I don't know of any other road that's 11 miles long that's got its own helipad at one end of it so that the rescue teams can get people in and out of here quicker. It's crazy. Not so crazy is the fact that the majority of accidents and deaths occurring down here are motorcycle related. Now, of course, statistically, it makes perfect sense in that during the summertime, we're probably the most dominant vehicle down here. And we're probably the least protected. I mean, you can have a full leather outfit, you can have a top-of-the-line helmet. That's not going to do you a whole lot of good against a tree or driving off a cliff. And as we talk about accidents, we're going to approach a couple vehicles here coming at us. First one's this car. No problems there. Road's pretty straight. They're minding their own business. Take a look at this box truck all over the yellow line. Now let's say I was going a little faster. I meet this box truck in the turn. Now let's say he's a little more over the line and I'm going a little too fast and I'm a little over the line on the other side. Well, this is a bad day for Chip's trips. The problem is, this isn't the majority of motorcycle accidents. The majority of motorcycle accidents, believe it or not, are single vehicle accidents. And this is the argument I like to use whenever anybody tries to tell me about how dangerous motorcycle riding is, or how they used to ride but they gave it up because traffic got so bad. And I like to tell them, 70% of all motorcycle accidents are single vehicle accidents, and then 30% or so of those are alcohol related accidents. So if I'm riding sober and riding inside of my own limitations, well, I'm pretty much just as safe as any other vehicle out there on the road, and I'm more maneuverable. So sometimes I feel safer on the bike than I do in the car. And as we approach here, you'll see this car gave us a nice courtesy pull off. That was nice. Didn't even see them ahead of us. They were so far ahead of us, I didn't even see them. And there they were pulling over again. So that was nice, thank you. And right up here, we're going to see another reminder of anything can happen at any given time. Nice tree taking up my whole lane. Oncoming car approaching. Don't panic. Just ride on through it. And that's how you keep yourself safe on a motorcycle. So by keeping your head on a swivel, by staying engaged, but mostly just not riding over your own limitations, you can stay just as safe on that motorcycle as you would be in any other vehicle on the road. And that's whether you're on this road or any other road. Matter of fact, roads like this, sometimes I feel safer on the bike. I mean, you definitely have a smaller footprint, which gives you a lot more blacktop to play with if something does come into your lane. You're not falling off of the asphalt there to avoid it. And then your maneuverability better on the bike. Braking, accelerating better on the bike. So all in all, especially roads like this, I think the motorcycle can be even safer than a car. As long as you're not reckless. You can be reckless in a car too, and you can get killed in a car. So keep all that in mind when you're out here. Now, as far as this road goes, crazy fun. That's all I gotta say. This is one of the funnest rides you can ride. Visually, it's stunning. When you're riding, you can see the road up ahead of you. It's heading in a totally different direction. Not even sure if it's the same road, and then the next thing you know, you're on the stretch of road you were looking at. Stretch of road was perpendicular to where you were at. So this is about as straight as it gets right here. Believe it or not, that's the straight part of the Dragon. And then you see right back into these turns. These turns are so much fun. And you don't have to be super seasoned to ride this. I mean, any skill level can ride it. It just depends on how far down you want to lean. I mean, you don't have to scrape your floorboards. You definitely can. You can drag your knee if you're on a sport bike. Look at this left-hander here. This is so much fun. You could definitely hit the floorboards there. I seen a guy on a sport bike coming at me the other way, dragging his knee through that turn while I was on my soft tail going the other way, and that made a great picture. Yeah, so much visuals on this. Now, they don't like to call them switchbacks on here. I do think that there's like 3 legit switchbacks, but for the most part, it's just one hard turn followed by a couple soft turns and then another hard turn. The road will go perpendicular to itself in one turn. You do have to watch. Some of these turns have some dips in them, and seen some stories where people have gotten thrown off. I can see it. There's a right-hander. When you're coming the other way, there's a wicked dip in one of the right-handers. It's super tight with this super dip in it, and yeah, if you're not paying attention, you definitely get hurt on this road. But again, like I said, it's just a road, and 30 years ago, nobody even thought about it other than just a road to get to Robbinsville or to get to Knoxville. And that was all it was. And there were these things in Georgia called the Honda Hoot, and it was like North Georgia, I think. And they started making this as one of their destination rides, you know. All the motorcycle, they all have them. You know, you go to the rallies, they all have their roads or whatever, their rides. And this was part of the Honda Hoots ride. And then there was, the hotel has actually been there since the 50s, I believe. This guy, you know, motorcycle enthusiast, he bought it off the original owner and turned it into this whole motorcycle mecca now. And I mean, honestly, I could tell you that this is the reason why I moved down here. I don't ride it as much as I'd like to. I don't ride it as much as I thought I would, but that's mainly because there's so much more riding out here, and this is just a tip of the iceberg. It's probably the most notable ride, but it's definitely not the hardest, longest. It's definitely the most traveled, though. I mean, you can go 5 miles south of here and ride to Charahola and not have half the amount of traffic, or the Foothills Parkway, which is right off of this road, and not have any traffic. So this is the must ride, though, and everybody knows about it. It's super, super fun, no doubt. Mentally exhausting. First time you ride it, you definitely need to pull over at the end and just regroup, because, I mean, look at this left-hander here. Just so much fun. Swing it out a little bit. I think this whole ride, I did the 11 miles in like 22 minutes, which is pretty good. I know probably people do it a lot faster than that, but I'm not trying to break any land speed records. I'm just trying to enjoy the road, enjoy the scenery. I like to take a little bit of it all, you know. So much fun. Look at, see the pull-offs. Signs everywhere. Always, I know I say it 100 times, pay attention to your signs. Look at that. Beautiful. Looking out over the mountain like that. See, when you're coming the other direction, then the cliff is on your right instead of the wall, so it's like sometimes it's even more distracting. You want to try to look down and see how far down it is. But oh, here's their photographer right there. That's crazy too. It was day in February. I was the only bike on the road, and photographers are still out. So like I said, in the middle of the summer, you're gonna have a half dozen of them guys set up at different locations, taking pictures. You go online, you can pull the pictures off the internet and have a souvenir. So you can see the road through the trees. That's probably the neatest part of this road, I think, is seeing what's coming up. As opposed to having blind turns, you have, I don't know what you would call it, but you can see the road way ahead of where you're at, and that's pretty neat. Now, we're probably top of the mountain here. The elevation, you don't really notice it. It goes up pretty good. It's like 1,200 feet or something. And you go up and down. It's pretty much just, it's not like up and down, up and down. Like I said, you hardly even notice it, really. It's pretty smooth. A couple more cars coming at me. I can't believe there was no cars on my side of the road this whole way. And the one car, they pulled off so early, I didn't even realize they were there. If it wasn't for that tree, I'd have never had to cross the yellow line. That was pretty crazy. Let's see here, more turns coming up, more turns. Yeah, at the end of this 11 miles, you're pretty much mentally exhausted. Because you got to stay focused, definitely stay engaged. Such a nice day, man. More of those pull-off areas. They got them almost every 30, 40 yards, I think. It's nice, like, wherever they could put them. You see the speed limit's 30. It used to be 50. Could you imagine that? I couldn't imagine trying to maintain 50 miles an hour on there. I mean, you couldn't do it. You could do 50 here and there, but for the most part, you're doing 30, 20 through the turns. If you want to stay upright, you know, if you want to lean, you could definitely do it a little faster. So this is it, Tail of the Dragon. Everybody needs to ride it. This is the road that Norman Reedus didn't ride on Norman Reedus Rides. So I don't know if anybody saw the episode, but it's pretty funny. They come down. Now they dedicate about, look at this turn right here. Now here's a nice right. Technically not a switchback, but for all intent and purposes, that's a switchback. When you go to the right, then you come up here and you make another hard left. Now you're into another right. That's a switchback. I don't care what they say. Anyway, so Norman Reedus, he's like, dedicates a quarter of his show to the Dragon. He talks about it, how they're going to come down here and ride it. And they come down, they spend the night at Deals Gap, and they talk to a bunch of the locals, and they're playing around on little mini bikes and racing in the parking lot down there. And they get up in the morning and they say, oh, they couldn't ride it. It was too crowded. But whatever the reason, whether or not they're producers wouldn't allow them to ride it. Maybe they chickened out, whatever. They said they had one-off bikes and they weren't going to take a chance on having them have pieces put on the tree of shame. So, whatever. I'm riding it here, so you can enjoy it. Look at this, 15 miles an hour. Posted adjusted speed limit. Nice hard left. I don't know how they don't call that a switchback, but it has to do with the switchback has to have a left and a right. But, you know, here's your right here after the left, so I don't know how they don't consider that a switchback. So one last thing as we're wrapping it up here. Not only did they name the road, but they named the curves in the road. And I think that's pretty funny. You can go online and there's a map and it'll show you the names of the curves. And, you know, there's also a map that'll show you where all the accidents have happened. But they've done a lot to make this a destination and it's really fun. They got souvenir stands on both ends. There's a Harley dealership down here that sells the t-shirts. There's hamburger stands on both ends also. Plenty of places to stay. Plenty of places to eat. Ton of stuff to do. This should be on everybody's bucket list, no doubt. You come down here for a week and you're not going to get to ride all these roads and see all the sights. So there's so much to do. And then if you're into boating or rafting or any of that stuff, there's all that to do too. So definitely put this on your bucket list. And hope this video encourages you to come down. Hopefully it makes you interested enough to come and see it for yourself. And here it is at the end. This is Tabcat Bridge right here we're crossing. And that is the tail of the dragon. So now when you come out of here after that 11 miles and you hit this stretch of road, well, this stretch of road feels so flat and so straight and looks like it goes on forever. And with the lake here on your left and the wind in your face, all you want to do is grab that throttle and just go. I mean, it's so inviting just to open it up here and rip on down this road for as far as you can see. Just be aware that Tennessee law does like to set themselves up right up here on the right, and they will hand out tickets if you're getting too crazy. So be aware, they do patrol it. There is a presence down here, and mainly they're just trying to keep it safe, but you know, I'm sure that they appreciate the funds too. So keep that in mind while you're down here, and be safe. Come on down, take home some memories, take home some pictures. Let's just not take home any tickets or injuries, okay? Everybody be safe, and till next time, if you like the video, please subscribe, like, comment, all that fun stuff. It's all appreciated. We're going to be doing probably Foothills Parkway next. Got the Cherry Hole coming up. There's so many rides down here, and we're going to be showcasing all of them. Hopefully it gets people off their couches and out in the wind. So till the next time, everybody stay safe,